Yeah, I mean, Alan, with your long expertise and your view of history, what do you make of this? And as Julia says, I mean, you know, every administration has the right to do, in the case of these immigration judges, to take them out if they were put in by the previous administration. But what do you make of this?
So I don't think that that's necessarily the case, because we've never seen this before in any other administration where there's been this number of judges removed that were already approved. So they'd already been through the messenger sort of stage and they were ready to sort of take the bench. So you can't say that they were doing anything on cases because their cases had not been adjudicated. So there's no way to make a valid opinion about them other than they were appointed by the former president. In addition to that, they removed a lot of leadership, one of them being Carrie Dole, who's a very experienced immigration litigator, both inside the government and outside the government, who was sort of leading some of these cases. The national approval rate for asylums under the Biden administration was at 36%, which was down from 50% before. So sort of saying removing these judges and then at the same time asking Congress for more money to hire additional judges sends a very confusing message about you really being serious about enforcement. And so that's what the story is right now. In immigration right now, due process and humanity is under attack. And what we're doing is not sort of meeting the needs of the people by saying we want more judges, but we're going to fire these judges, because now I don't know anyone who wants to be an Article 2 judge, because you can be removed by the legislature. We were already very much in front of the court saying we need them to be in Article 3 like the Supreme Court, so we won't have to worry about this in the future. And so they have autonomy over the justice to these humanitarian cases.
Yeah, I mean, and Alan, 3.6 million cases, that's a backlog. I mean, how long does that take on a regular, fiscal year?
So in a regular fiscal year, you're looking about 4 to 5 years for an asylum case. And that's not even speaking about the new asylum cases that are going to be filed by the end of TPS. So it's really bad management and bad planning.
And Alan, meanwhile, President Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday about the 14th Amendment. He wrote, in quote, "Never had anything to do with modern day gate crashers, illegal immigrants who break the law by being in our country. It had everything to do with giving citizenship to former slaves." Alan, does the 14th Amendment language specifically state who can or cannot get citizenship through birthright?
It does not. And this has been clearly established by all the courts, whether they were appointed by a conservative or not. I don't understand. This is sort of a shot in the dark to try to get Congress to maybe change this or have a constitutional convention to sort of move this forward. But this is sort of the weak undergirdings. And in Black History Month, it's sort of unsettling to me to hear him sort of make these sort of claims, because the Constitution isn't about just one group of people. It's about who we are. And that's why the Constitution is under attack right now, for these fundamental rights that are proven to everyone. You saw Tom Homan go on CNN yesterday and say that he wanted to go after AOC for telling people what their rights were, regardless of what their status is in the country. That's something that's protected under the First Amendment. So we see this problematic implementation of the Constitution. These are shared values under attack under this administration, specifically in immigration.